Welcome, my dear students. The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh, Part 5th. Up to now, we have done 4 parts, and this is the 5th part. And I hope in this part I'd be able to complete this chapter. Explanation of this chapter will be finished in this video. I hope so. First of all, reading. When I decided to go abroad for further studies, I was sure my grandmother would be upset. I would be away for 5 years, and at her age one could never tell. But my grandmother could. She was not even sentimental. She came to leave me at the railway station, but did not talk or show any emotion. Her lips moved in prayer. Her mind was lost in prayer. Her fingers were busy telling the beads of her rosary. Silently, she kissed my forehead, and when I left, I cherished the moist imprint as perhaps the last sign of physical contact between us. But that was not so. After 5 years, I came back home and was met by her at the station. She did not look a day older. She still had no time for words, and while she clasped me in her arms, I could hear her reciting her prayers. Even on the first day of my arrival, her happiest moments were with her sparrows, whom she fed longer, and with frivolous rebukes. The hard words are sentimental, beads, cherished, imprint, frivolous, rebuke, moist, clasped, and frivolous rebukes together. So you can read for the meaning, and let me explain now. When the author decided to go abroad for further studies, he believed it would be the last time he would see her, as he would be gone for 5 long years. As they all reached the station, she held him tightly and kissed his forehead. He thought it was the last physical contact with her. The wet impression of her hand was dear to him. But she was not sentimental at all. When he came back after 5 years, she came to meet him at the station. She looked just the way she did 5 years ago, not a day older. She held him again in her arms and was still reciting her prayers. He noticed on the first day of his arrival that only sparrows would make her happy. She was happily spending her time, and when the sparrows were sitting on her body, she used to give them frivolous rebukes. Okay? Now, reading of the next part. In the evening, a change came over her. She did not pray. She collected the women of the neighborhood, got an old drum, and started to sing. For several hours, she thumbed the sagging skin of the dilapidated drum and sang of the homecoming of warriors. We had to persuade her to stop to avoid overstraining. That was the first time since I had known her that she did not pray. The next morning she was taken ill. It was a mild fever, and the doctor told us that it would go. But my grandmother thought differently. She told us that her end was near. She said that since only a few hours before the close of the last chapter of her life, she had omitted to pray. She was not going to waste any more time talking to us. The hard words are thumbed, dilapidated, persuade, overstraining, sagging, and omitted. You can read the meanings. It is time to explain the given lines. Ready? An evening, she did not follow her regular routine of praying. She collected a few women from the neighborhood, got a drum and started singing with them. She thumbed the ruined part of the drum and sang song along with it. The whole family persuaded her to stop as she might get ill due to exertion. So she agreed. But the next morning she fell ill. It was a mild fever. The doctors told that it would go away. But grandmother took it in a different way. According to her, she would die as soon as her end was near. She started chanting prayers. As she did not want to waste her last hours in talking to anyone. We protested, but she ignored our protest. She lay peacefully in bed, praying and telling her beads. Even before we could suspect, her lips stopped moving and the rosary fell from her lifeless fingers. A peaceful pallor spread on her face and we knew that she was dead. The difficult words are protested and pallor. And now explanation. The family protested. They all tried to stop her, but she laid peacefully on her bed, chanting prayers and doing her beads. Suddenly she stopped and the rosary fell from her lifeless fingers. A calm, pale appearance spread on her face, and it was clear that she was no more. Last paragraph. We lifted her off the bed and, as is customary, laid her on the ground and covered her with a red shroud. After a few hours of mourning, we left her alone to make arrangements for her funeral. In the evening, we went to her room with a crude stretcher to take her to be cremated. The sun was setting and had lit her room and veranda with a blaze of golden light. We stopped halfway in the courtyard, all over the veranda and in her room, right up to where she lay dead and stiff, wrapped in the red shroud. Thousands of sparrows sat scattered on the floor. There was no chirruping. We felt sorry for the birds, and my mother fetched some bread for them. She broke it into little crumbs, the way my grandmother used to, and threw it to them. The sparrows took no notice of the bread. When we carried my grandmother's corpse off, they flew away quietly. Next morning, the sweeper swept the breadcrumbs into the dustbin. The hard words are customary, cremated, blaze, corpse, crude, and shroud. For the meanings, you can refer to the meaning given. The family, the explanation part. The family lifted her from the bed, laid her on the ground, and wrapped her with a red-colored cloth. Thousands of sparrows sat silently near her. The author's mother fetched some bread for the birds, but they did not eat any. They flew away later as the family carried the dead body. The sweeper removed the crumbs the next morning. The birds were so sensitive. They did not want to eat bread, but were mourning the death of the one who had fed them for so many days. And this was a kind of tribute from the bird side to the old lady. So my dear students, this way I have finished the explanation of the whole chapter. Now it is time for question answers. All the questions given in the book you'll have to do in your homework notebook, and I don't think there is a need of discussion of question answers because it is available in plenty, and that will be your real practice if you write your own answers. There are some questions related to grammar. One of them is before you. Notice the following uses of the word tell in the text. Her fingers were busy telling the beads of her rosary. I would tell her English words and little things of Western science and learning. At her age, one could never tell. She told us that her end was near. So here there are different types of uses of the word tell. Given below are 4 different senses of the word tell. Match the meaning to the uses listed above. Okay, make something known to someone in spoken or written words. Count while reciting. Be sure and give information to somebody. Okay, and the correct answers are: for number 1, make something known to someone in spoken or written words. It is, I would tell her English words and little things of Western science and learning. Next one, count while reciting. Her fingers were busy telling the beads of her rosary. Be sure, at her age one could never tell. And the last one, give information to somebody. She told us that her end was near. So now it is time to say thank you for watching part 5, that is the last part, and be ready to start a new chapter. Thank you.